exhaustion of distribution rights, copyrights, trademarks and other third-party rights. So let's take care of rights. What are rights? Rights may be divided into natural rights and legal rights, but whether there are natural rights or not is not very clear. It is disputed between different people whether they really exist or not. But if they existed, then, for example, the UN Declaration of Human Rights may be such a natural right. But today we care about legal rights. What are legal rights? They are normally established by law, they are man-made, and the normal mechanism of such a legal right is that a person, a legal or a natural person, acquires the right to forbid others to do something. Let's have a closer look into these legal rights. They may be obtained based on contracts, well, for example, a purchase contract, so buying a house, paying a house, gives the right to use a house. But today we care about intellectual property rights. And those intellectual property rights again can be divided into those that are directly based on intellectual property, for example by creating a work, then this may grant copyright, or by industrial property, for example to create a distinctive sign, to mark a product, to invent a mechanism, to obtain a patent, to protect this mechanism, to invent an industrial design or a trade secret. Today we take particular care of these three rights: copyright, distinctive signs and patents, because they may have an impact when copying and distributing open source software. Of course, these rights have a certain common denomination. We call them third-party rights. And these third-party rights, as I said, have an impact when copying and distributing open source software. They look very similar. They are all called third-party rights, but they are not. Let's have a look. What is the difference between these various third-party rights? First of all, what do they protect? What is their scope? Copyright protects copying, modifying, distributing and publishing a work. Patent rights to use the mechanism that is protected by a patent, and trademark right, of course, protects show the trademark in combination with a certain product as a sign that this product was manufactured by a certain company. Next question: is registration required? Is registration possible? And as you know, copyright, no, there's no such thing as a registration of copyright. The creation of the work, the very moment when the work is created is, if you want, the registration. This is very special, and there are probably no other laws that work this way, so that without a contract, without a registration, a right is granted. Patent right, of course, registration is required, trademark as well. Is it expensive or not? Well, copyright cannot be expensive because there is no registration. Patent right, yes, may become very expensive over time, and trademark right is less expensive but still is not free. Next question, let's check the area, the region. Is this limited or not? With copyright, in principle, it would be, but because there is this convention where 180 countries came together and accepted a certain standard of copyright law, and another 13 countries are connected through another treaty, up to 193, and the overall amount of countries in the world may be around 196. So as you see, normally it is not limited because so many countries joined this international convention. Patent right is completely different. Yes, it is only protected when it is registered in a certain country, and same with trademark law. Next question, how about detection of violation? Is there probably a state-mandated violation detection? Copyright? No. Patent right? No. Trademark right? Not always, but maybe. If someone may have purchased a, for example, a good that is falsified in another country and is importing it into the country where this product is protected by trademark law, then the customer may take it away from him or her. So there is, not always, but there is a possibility of a state-mandated violation detection. And next final question is there automatic mechanism? So can someone start a program and automatically search for violation and probably also automatically submit bills? Yes, with copyright it is, and you may have heard about from people who used, for example, a picture on a website, and the owner or the company who owns the license, the rights of this picture, can start a crawler that automatically goes through all the web pages in the world, and whenever a picture is found that is not correctly licensed, an automatic bill is generated. With patent right, it is probably either very difficult or not possible, but with trademark right, it is. So what you see here is a table of the various different third-party rights. They are subsumed under the term third party, but they are very different, and particular copyright law and patent law is very different. If you would like to learn a bit more about third-party rights, there's a recommendation, and you may have heard of the OSADL open source policy template. This is a comprehensive template people can use to establish a policy how to deal with open source software in the industry. And we have 3 layers. The first layer, of course, is a template. The second layer are appendices with text templates, for example. And the third layer are supplements. And one of these third layers is the third layer, the supplement third-party rights of our policy. So if you would like to learn a bit more, or you are interested in such a policy and you haven't heard of this, you will find all this information in the members area of the OSADL website. So third-party rights are important, and let's have a look of how may it happen that such rights are violated. So imagine a person that is completely separated from the outside world, no Wi-Fi, no USB connection, no network, no other way. So all the software this person is creating is created in the brain and go directly into the computer. So there's no external influence on it. May this mean that the person is completely protected and there's no way to violate one of these third-party rights? Let's have a look. No. Copyright, yes, it is very probable there's no violation of copyrights. Trademarks as well. If, for example, the person would then decide to take a sign of existing software and then use it, maybe, but from the outside world, no, but patent rights, yes. It may well happen that this person invents a mechanism, believes that this mechanism was newly invented, but someone else already invented it before and protected it by patent law. So there's always the danger to violate patent rights, even if you are not at all connected to the outside world. But now the person gets network and USB and Wi-Fi and is connected to the rest of the world, and then of course there is this danger that third-party rights are violated. And this is exactly the reason why the OSADL policy template contains a mechanism that we call third-party mechanism to take care that this does not happen inadvertently to the company, so that it is very clear that whenever third-party software under the danger of third-party rights enters a company, then someone takes care of it. So this is important, and this is also the reason why we mention third-party rights here. And let's open the scenario. So this programmer has a friend of a student's time. They both are connected to the network. They exchange ideas, they exchange whatever, and there's always a danger that third-party rights are involved. So whenever such a scenario is created, then we may have the problem that someone is using something that is forbidden by patent law, or they copy and distribute, but this may also be forbidden by copyright law. And of course, to show a trademark may also be forbidden in this scenario. So third-party rights are always there, and maybe a problem, and maybe something that is worth to observe. But there are, of course, some exceptions from this rule. And what you have seen here is that the person already has a somewhat large monitor, but he got a larger one. And what you have seen is that his colleague has a smaller one already at the beginning, but the boss of this company then was so kind as to do what this person requested. Please, could you sell this old monitor second-hand to my colleague? And particularly without any modification, hand it over, and then third-party rights turn green. If used, unmodified, no copy retained, is forwarded to the colleague who then got the larger monitor. Then if a product is passed on unchanged, without a copy being retained, all third-party rights are exhausted. So this is another very important mechanism that is related to third-party rights, exhaustion of third-party rights. What is this? There must certain prerequisites be fulfilled in order for exhaustion to take place. The product must have been originally marketed completely in accordance with a license. No changes may have been made to the product. In particular, no changes that may damage the reputation of the original manufacturer or author. No copies may be retained, and all documents required for correct licensing must be supplied with the product when it is forwarded, for example, in a second-hand transaction. This is important because then all license obligations must be fulfilled by the original marketer. Let's take a typical example of exhaustion when it may be useful. Let's imagine there's a product that is based on a Linux distribution, but as we know, licensing an entire distribution is either labor intensive or completely impossible. So it may not be the solution by just copy and distribute the entire distribution. But it may well be that the particular product is largely based on a Linux distribution, but only minor adaptations and additions are required for the product to run. And the customer of the product is able to perform software installation on it. Unfortunately, this is normally not the case. For example, in an embedded system, people want to purchase an embedded system and immediately start using it, and they may have no fun to start installing software on it. But in some cases, it may be possible. For example, if this is a product that contains mainly software, and in this case, it may well be possible as a solution that the installation image of the Linux distribution is obtained as many times as required from the manufacturer and forwarded unmodified to the customer. And the needed adaptations and additions are provided on a separate installation medium to the customer. Finally, the installation manual instructs the customer how to subsequently install the two products. First, this one, follow the installation and tell the customer this is out of the scope of this delivery. It is forwarded one-to-one, and if you have any questions or any concern, or you would like to have my license conditions fulfilled, please contact directly this manufacturer. We are just handing it over to you. Exhaustion takes place. But the other part of it, which is organized, which is compiled, this is created by the company. Of course, here license obligations are to be fulfilled by this company. But since it may only represent 1% of the entire software, this of course is a solution. And the advantage for all of this is very clear. The license obligations of the large amount of software that is contained in the Linux distribution must be fulfilled by the original manufacturer. And only the much smaller amount of software provided on the second installation medium must then be separately fulfilled by the company. As I said, it may not be the general solution to, for example, how to license an entire Linux distribution, but it may help in particular cases where these conditions are met. So let's conclude. The most important third-party rights are copyright, patent rights, and trademark rights. Although these third-party rights are summarized under this term, so one may believe that they are more or less the same, they are not. They are very different. Copyright and patent rights in particular could hardly be more different. So someone who is a patent lawyer and he knows a lot about patents may not automatically be a good copyright lawyer, because this is so different. Whenever software of any kind is used, copied or distributed, third-party rights must be observed. Open source software is no exception to this rule, and again, this is why we recommend a third-party process, how to deal with third-party software in a company to make sure that third-party rights are not violated. If a person invented software exclusively himself or herself without including any external material, only patent rights may be relevant when the software is executed or even distributed. But if open source software that contains third-party software is copied and distributed, copyright and trademark law may be relevant, and patent law may be relevant, of course, related to the third-party software in the sense of aiding and abetting patent infringement, because a customer unknowingly would receive software that may contain patented material, and when it is executed at the site of the customer, patent violation occurs. So this is relevant with respect to the copyright and trademark law and patent law. Third conclusion. If an item has been properly licensed with respect to all third-party rights, has not been modified in any way, and is sold second-hand, the third-party rights are not relevant to this second-hand transaction. In this case, the original manufacturer remains responsible for fulfilling license obligations. This mechanism is called exhaustion of the exclusive distribution rights of the original author. Or normally we call this simply exhaustion. This is a welcome legal mechanism, as it ensures that no third-party rights interfere with the right of free trade. So every person is allowed to sell second-hand a product that was correctly purchased in the first place, and may decide to hand it over to someone, to give it away for free, to sell it, to do whatever the person wanted to do with it. But since this exhaustion mechanism exists, then the exhaustion mechanism can be used to simply forward something without taking care of third-party rights. In any other cases, third-party rights are relevant, and there must be a mechanism, for example in a company, to make sure that no third-party rights are violated when a product is forwarded.